Balai media lah. Tại thì ini je press briefing. Nó tùy balai cái sừng khắc hamo, tại bậc khắc ham giặc. Tam hơn mà, ovo besar systematic hay, sini Tipra hani bersama Bwtharjakmano. Bwtharjakmano tui जों दिनै जत पाल खायै जों Tipra Motha party bono strongly condemn खायो condemn खायमोन यागुलो जों bono जों justice नाय abono sanambo sungo. Let me say something in English so that the entire nations should know what the Tipra Motha party stand for this kind of criminal act that has been done for the nations and particularly for Tipra citizens. Tipra Motha party strongly condemn the act, the incident that happened in Uttarakhand, where we lost one of our young, dynamic student, who is a very resourceful for the state. Now, this is not only merely a criminal act, but it is a pattern of racial violation and systematic discriminations by the Indian state mechanisms. So this kind of human rights violations cannot be tolerated and cannot be accepted. We, the Tipra people, send our students outside to study. It is not only that we send them, but we are also exporting the resources from our state. The parents send money and it is a revenue for the Uttarakhand or the other state wherever our student goes. Now, when this kind of act is being acted by the state mechanisms, it is a failure of the state by not able to provide safe and safety and security. And students going from Tipra or from Northeast cannot live with dignity, with security and with safety measures. I think this is high time that our state government should urge strongly to the government of India to make the system and to give the justice to our Angel Chakma, who is the resident of Tipra. It is not only the loss of his family members, but it is a loss of the state of Tipra that we lost such a dynamic and such a resourceful students. With such kind of inhuman act enacted by the Uttarakhand, I think it is intolerable. Therefore, as I have stated, that it is not merely an act or a criminal act, but it is a pattern of continuing the racial violations and a very systematic way of discriminating the Northeast people, particularly the indigenous people. I think it is high time. This is not only the first time. In fact, there are many incidents that happened where many of our Northeast students were being killed brutally, and many Northeast girls are being raped and being murdered. Now, we would like to question the government of India. Does the Northeast belong to India? And if Northeast doesn't belong to India, then leave us alone. We know how to live ourselves. We know how to live with our dignity, with our cultures, with our language, and with our society. But today, as we said, as we claim as citizens, being Indian citizens, we send our students outside other state to study. But the way that our students are being treated in a inhuman way, so this is totally grossly violations of human rights and violations of Articles 21, because no one has a right to take the life. And now the system may say, or system may try to excuse itself by trying to award 25,000 to find out the perpetrator. Now my question is that what kind of systems that the country is having when you cannot even ensure the safety measures and makes the citizens to live with dignity, with the security. So this is something very sad and very condemnable by the state of Tipra, and by the whole Northeast, because this is the time where the entire Northeast has come together, and we need to fight back to this kind of racial discrimination and the patterns that the government of India is not unable to solve this. So we believe that this is a pattern of racial discriminations against the indigenous peoples, against the Northeast people. So we strongly urge the government of India to bring the kind of systems, the kind of act, so that they can ensure that our Northeast people are being respected, that our Northeast peoples can live with dignity and harmony and with peace and with dignity. So this is our strong statement made by our Tipra Motha parties, because right from the beginning, our Bubagra, our Maharaja has brought this issue, how long we are going to recede to live in this kind of racism notions, with this kind of patterns of continuing systematic discriminating the Northeastern people. It is high time that we should urge the government of India. Once again, I would like to emphasize, and once again, I would like to state that if you cannot ensure the life and safety of the Northeastern people, then what are you going to do to us? I think this is a big question to be asked. Therefore, with this agony, I would like to say that if Northeast is not a part of India, then leave us alone. I think that is the only solution that we can hope in future. If you want Northeast as a part of India, then we as a Northeast, we strongly proclaim ourselves that we are citizens of India and we are most patriotic than anyone else in the country. And it is we, the Tipra Motha party and the Tipra people and the Northeast, who raise the voice against the Bangladesh, who is spreading the hatred against the country and against the nations. And why today the Northeast people has to face, and the Tipra people has to face that kind of hatred crimes. And this is not only the first time, as we have said, it has been nationalized, the news has been carried out right from the beginning till today. And in spite of that, we are still facing the same kind of hatred, the same kind of racial violence, the same kind of patterns of continuing discriminating the Northeast people. What is this? By today, if the government of India is not learning the lesson, then when are you going to learn the lesson, and when are you going to accept us as a part of Indian, as a part of Indian citizens, to ensure our right so that we can live with our dignity, we can live with our cultures and with our identity. So that is the question, and that is the question where our Maharaj Bubagra have been raising the issue and asking the question to the government of India. For that reasons, we urge the government of India that it is high time bring out the resolution or bring out an act so that the Northeast people can be saved. And as we knew, under the ST Atrocity Prevention Act 1989, some compensation has given, but that compensation is not enough. You cannot measure the life and the kind of labor that the parents of Angel Chakma has given to his son Angel Chakma till his death. I think it is high time, and we urge the government of India that Angel Chakma parents should be compensated with minimum 5 crore so that they can at least look after their family and his second sons to carry out his study. With the kind of imaginations and with a kind of high expectation, the Angel Chakma father, who is serving as a country security personnel into a BSF, has been dedicating his life, dedicating his entire life and security to the nation. And in spite, today he is getting this kind of result, this kind of outcome, this kind of fruit, where he has to go to the Uttarakhand and see his son into such kind of, motions and such kind of actions. So that cannot be tolerated. Therefore, once again, we the Tipra Motha party strongly condemn this act, and we urge the government of India to take a very strong actions and come out with a very strong act so that the entire Northeast people can be protected under that act. And if the act is not being enacted to protect the Northeastern people, then I think this coming 2026 would be a black day for every one of us here in Tipra and every one of us here in the Northeast. And that is